Let's go back to 1993. Do you know what the early days of the UFC look like? Nor huge crowds, gloves, or weight classes.
This was a wild idea from a guy named Art Davie. Which martial art would win in a real fight? Davie teamed up with Royce Gracie, known for his ground fighting style. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. They pitched the idea. And that's how the UFC was born on November 12th, 1993. 8 fighters entered. Different styles, different countries. No weight limits, no time limits. Art Jimerson, 196 pounds boxer, nickname King Arthur. Jimerson was selected for UFC 1, 1993, as the representative of pure boxing. Famously fought Royce Gracie wearing one boxing glove, thinking it would protect his jabbing hand while leaving the other free for grappling. He tapped out without being punched purely due to positional dominance from Gracie. Let's talk about Royce Gracie, a member of the legendary Gracie family, founders of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Brother of Royce Gracie, co-founder of UFC. He was only 180 pounds. He was the first one who introduced the world to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, showing how grappling could beat striking. Submitted much larger, more athletic fighters using chokes and joint locks. Won fights without throwing a single punch. Created the foundation of modern MMA by forcing fighters to learn ground game. That's how first UFC went. Gerard Gordeau Savate, kickboxer from the Netherlands, 216 pounds, former European Savate champion and karate black belt. Faced sumo wrestler ranked in Japan under the name Takamikuni, 415 pounds, but Gerard Gordeau knocked out Taylor Tully's teeth in the opening seconds of UFC 1 with a brutal kick within 30 seconds. Then comes Kevin Rosier, professional kickboxer, held multiple heavyweight titles in lesser-known organizations. 216 pounds. Faced Zane Frazier, a security guard, had competed in point karate and some full-contact events. 230 pounds. But gassed out easily and lost to Rosier after a decent start. Following this, Ken Shamrock, pro wrestler and fighter in Japan's Pancrase organization. One of the few with real grappling experience. 220 pounds. Faced Patrick Smith, Taekwondo master. 217 pounds. Multiple kickboxing titles, but limited grappling experience. He was quickly submitted by Shamrock via heel hook. In semifinals, Gerard Gordeau faced Kevin Rosier. Rosier had just survived a brutal, bloody fight with Zane Frazier, and came into the semifinals already exhausted, bleeding, and limping. Gordeau, on the other hand, had a quick win over Taylor Tully and was still relatively fresh. Right from the start, Gordeau stayed on the outside and used leg kicks to tear into Rosier's already injured legs. Eventually, Rosier collapsed against the cage. He didn't get knocked out clean, but he couldn't go on. The referee stopped the fight, giving Gordeau the TKO victory. Following this, Royce Gracie stepped into the cage against Ken Shamrock, a true test, as Shamrock was one of the few fighters who actually knew submissions. Unlike most of Gracie's previous opponents, Shamrock had real grappling experience from fighting in Japan. Early in the match, Shamrock attempted to turn the tide with a leg lock, but Gracie remained calm, skillfully slipping out of the hold. In a swift transition, he took Shamrock's back and, without hesitation, locked in a rear naked choke. Seconds later, Shamrock tapped, and Gracie secured another dominant victory in the final. The fight began with both men circling cautiously, feeling each other out. Gordeau kept his distance, knowing that if the fight went to the ground, he didn't stand a chance. But Gracie didn't wait long. He ducked low and shot in fast, dodging any punches. In seconds, he grabbed Gordeau's body and tripped him down. The moment they hit the mat, it was Gracie's world. Gordeau, with a broken hand and no ground skills, was helpless. Gracie moved like a snake, took his back, and wrapped in the same rear-naked choke that finished Shamrock. Gordeau tapped almost instantly. Just like that, it was over. That's how the early UFC looked, raw, wild, and unpredictable. Fighters from all over the world brought their own styles. Boxers, wrestlers, karate masters, sumo fighters, and even street brawlers. It was the ultimate style versus style experiment, all happening in one night. No weight classes, no time limits, no gloves. almost no rules. You could punch, kick, elbow, even headbutt. The only things banned were eye gouging and biting. Everything else was fair game. That's why UFC fighter looked like this back then and not this.